Hey lab rats, it's Darian of Lab Shenanigans and welcome to Scientifically Speaking. Today's guest is a friend of mine I absolutely adore, Shannon Odell. We talk about mental health, mouse behavioral assays, and getting into comedy. Enjoy.
Got it.
Okay, it's recording. Hello, hi guys. Welcome back to Scientifically Speaking. Today I am joined with the Shannon Odell. Pew, 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 pew. She is
Whoa.
a neuroscientist, comedian, and science host, and she's a
Libra.
We're just chanting the entire time. That's the podcast right there.
That's the pod. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, this was so wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful day, and let's catch up after this.
Yes.
For those that don't know, Shannon and I both have the same birthdays.
Yes.
10/20 blaze it.
10/20 blaze it, as they say in the medical textbooks. 10/20 blaze it.
If you don't mind me asking, what year were you born?
89.
89. I am 94.
5 years. I was a little 5-year-old celebrating my little 5th-year-old birthday as you were coming out.
I've known you for so long, and I say so long. I've known you for like 3 years, 4 years, and I always thought that you're like a year older than me. I don't know why. You look so young.
Oh, bless you.
They always say white do crack, but you don't.
Oh, thank you so much. I do feel as if I've aged extremely during the pandemic. Like, I just feel like I went into the pandemic like a teenager, even though I wasn't. I was 30. But I feel like I am exiting the pandemic like ready for retirement.
Yes, no, I feel like my body has changed in the past couple of years. Definitely, I've gotten older. Like, I don't know about you, but I've gotten sleepier. I've gotten like,
oh yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's the side effects from my medication, but like I've just gotten sleepier and more tired.
Oh yeah. Any medication, I always, it makes me tired. That's like, if a side effect on a bottle is like may cause fatigue, I am dead on the ground.
Girl, same here.
Asleep.
I am consistently napping. I can nap anywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I have a room to myself, like right now, I'm not afraid to just lay on the table and just flap myself on the table and then pass the fuck out.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah,
right
go for it.
Off the bat. Okay, one, side, back, or stomach sleeper?
Ooh, it depends. What surface I'm on. If I'm on a hard surface.
Yeah.
If I'm on a hard surface.
Who's beside me? You know what I mean?
If I'm on a hard surface, I lay on my back. If I am cuddling with the BF, I am on my side. But it's hard because I generally sleep on the right side. He sleeps on the left side. Okay. And so I'm turned on my left.
Wait. Are we staring down at the bed?
Yes, you're staring down in the bed. No. You're staring up. Okay.
I'm underneath the bed. Underneath the bed. And you're on the left?
No, I'm on the right.
And you're on the right.
And he's on the left.
Okay. I love thinking about these dynamics. Okay.
But it's funny because I'm right-handed. And I think because I'm right-handed, I like to sleep on my right side. But I like to sleep on the right side of the bed. So when I'm cuddling with him,
you're opposite.
Yes, I'm on the left side. And so already I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
And then my right hand is like hugging him.
Yes.
There's always that awkward position of not knowing what to do with the left hand. And so it's always cramped up. You know what I mean?
Right. I would love to detach that hand. We are going to get flying cars. Forget about it. I want a detachable arm.
I mean, they have beds apparently of like, there's like a little dent. Yeah. Where you can put your hand underneath.
Okay. Love that.
And I need to buy one of those.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm loving this dynamic. I'm a left sleeper. And I'm a stomach.
You're on the left side of the bed, or like
you're underneath the bed. You're underneath the bed. You're looking up. I'm on the left side.
Okay. So what you're saying is, if we were to share the same bed, we would fit because
we would fit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yes. And that was what I was getting at all along.
Okay, wow. If you wanted to just sleep with me, you could have just DM'd me.
I know. No, I like to investigate my way there. Let you come to the conclusion.
So conspicuous. Wait, is it conspicuous or inconspicuous? I always get those two mixed up.
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of people think I'm smart, but I'm actually dumb as fuck.
I feel the same way. I feel like in terms of vocabulary, I am very confident in my abilities in terms of like, I think I can critically think. I think I'm a logical person. I think you give me a challenge, I will figure it out. But it would come, and it's really funny because like I'm a science host, so I like do a lot of talking about science. And I think I can talk about science in a very relatable way. But at the same time, am I saying words wrong all the time? 100%. Is my tense wrong? Yes, it is. My subject verb agreement does not happen because I'm not very good at speaking.
I am the epitome of like a STEM student in undergrad. Like sometimes I could be mathematically, scientifically smart. But girl, I cannot write to save my life. For me, there's a lot of preparation that comes into stuff that I do. Like if I'm giving talks, if I'm giving a presentation, when I'm doing those, like it seems like I'm smart or it seems like I know what I'm doing, but it just takes a lot of preparation. I'm not like one of those people that are inherently smart. I had to work to get to where I am, you know? Whereas there are people who are just inherently smart, no preparation, and they're like, I know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, give me a day to study all that, and then I can deliver the same thing.
No, I think we're very similar in that way. Cause like, I feel the same way. Like where it's the and you know, and the fact that we can fit into bed together, you know, that's part of it too. And that like, I never like talking just off the cuff. I'm always like, okay, what are we going to talk about? I need to do so much research that I'm not even going to tell you that I'm secretly doing. I mean, I think it's also a complex, like a little bit as a scientist. And I don't know, I bet you in other fields, it's like this too. There's this huge fear of being wrong. You don't never want to be an authority, say the wrong thing, right? Obviously, I'm all about like transparency of like, that's fine if you do that because everyone makes mistakes. And then you just say like,
wait, you make mistakes?
Absolutely made mistakes. Me, no, I'm not talking about me. I never make mistakes. I don't know. I have always had this like complex, especially in science communication. That was like always what was holding me back was like, oh, what if I mess this up? And like someone comes after my ass and is like, no.
I think a lot of people are very forgiving where if you own up to your mistakes, it just says a lot about you, where if you agree with what they're saying, it shows that science is, I guess, like always changing, or we're always trying to take one step closer to finding the truth. And if you are like resistant and like, I don't think that's true, then people are going to be very hesitant about believing in science.
100%. That's like part of being a good science communicator is having the dialogue, having the like openness.
Yeah. So like, when did you decide to become a science communicator? Was this while you were pursuing your PhD?
Yeah, good question. Great question. When did you decide to become such a good interviewer?
Right now.
So I moved to the city. Boom, here I am out of college.
She was like a country girl. Then she moved to the city.
I was from deep Minnesota. I don't know if that's country. I literally don't know.
This is like a Hallmark movie.
No, I came from Jersey. I came from Jersey. I come from deep Jersey. Got my one suitcase off the bus. I moved to the city after my undergrad, and because I really like neuroscience, but I actually didn't major in neuroscience. I majored in bio, which similar vibes.
Okay, so you were born on 10/20 like me.
Yeah.
And then I studied for undergrad. I studied biochemistry. But you studied biology or biochemistry?
Biology.
Oh, okay. And then I wanted to pursue neuroscience.
Yeah.
But then I shut it down because I was like, let me do this social media stuff first. LOL.
Well, but you were in a neuro lab teching, right?
Yeah. Wow.
That's what I did.
You've been following me.
Yeah. I've been following you because I was in a time machine. I figured out what you were doing. I started to tech at a neuroscience lab in the Bronx. And then I was doing comedy in the city at the same time because I was like, what am I doing? I need friends. So that's why I started doing comedy, because I wanted friends, which
wow.
Interesting way to approach comedy.
Yeah, I would have gone to like the gay club.
Yeah, it's like a normal way to make friends. Me, I was like, I need to do school to make friends. So I signed up for comedy school. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like I only know how to pursue things in an academic sense. So I went to this place, UCB, no longer is now defunct, but that's a whole nother story.
Wait, UCB, what does it stand for? UC bitches?
Upright Citizens Brigade. Yeah, you see bitches everywhere and you're making friends. So I took my first improv class, like Improv 101, and I was like, great, I'm going to make friends. Didn't really make friends, but
Come on, yes, and?
I know, but I had this great teacher who messaged me after the class, and he was like, hey, like, I know that you were like that into comedy, but like, I really think you should pursue this. You really have a knack for it, and you're like doing well. Mm-hmm. So I'm very thankful for that teacher, because then I just decided like, okay, I'm going to fucking really do comedy.
We love good teachers.
Yeah. All you need is one good teacher to really set you on a path.
Oh, yeah.
So then I started doing comedy, started my PhD, because I was still like, I like neuroscience. I'm going to do my PhD in neuroscience. And then I started combining my comedy with my science. Really, the first thing I started doing was this show called Drunk Science.
Yeah. I see not ads, but I see like your posters on Instagram all the time. And whoever's editing those, they look so good. They're very professional.
My co-host Jordan, we like made a template like 10 years ago, and then we just fill in the template. And that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about templates. Don't sleep on them. They're really good to have, and they make your life easier.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
So then I started to do that comedy show where the show was like, had featured a scientist. They were the person we interviewed. The show's theme was around them. And then we had 3 comedians, and the comedians they do trivia about the science, and then they do a dissertation. We give them a topic ahead of time. So say we have an astrophysicist on, they might like do a dissertation on like black holes. Normally follows science. Yeah. So it's like, normally they watch a couple YouTube videos and they like will read the Wikipedia page, but the presentations are so funny. The comedians always approach the science in such a funny way, and that's kind of what inspired my whole path, because it was like I was hosting the show, I was seeing it happening in real time, like how you could combine science and comedy, and it could be so funny. So then that's how I got into science communication.
That's so interesting. Are there any recordings online, like on YouTube?
So during the pandemic, we did 2 virtual shows. Yeah.
Can you please send me the links? I want to post it in the description. I want to watch one of the videos during my lunch break.
They're on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay. Shannon Odell. Actually, when we collaborated on that YouTube video, like almost a year ago, I really stalked your YouTube channel.
I can't believe that was a year ago.
Honestly, it feels like 3 months ago. It went by so quick. I was such in a different state of mind around then. I was really depressy-wessy around that time. LOL.
Really?
Oh, yeah. But life has gotten so much better. I think the pandemic played a huge role. Yeah. Did the pandemic play like a role on your mental health?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so pandemic started and I was an anxious mess. I struggle with anxiety.
Girl, same here. Oh my God, we really are twins.
Yeah, I'm a little anxiety gal.
GAD?
Yeah, and a bit of social anxiety, if you can believe.
Wait, me too.
No way.
I swear.
Oh,
Bible.
Wow. Are we twins? Is this like Parent Trap right now?
Depression, general anxiety, and social anxiety. I've been medicated for like about a couple months now, and it's definitely helped me. I don't know about you, but like I'm very extroverted, but I have social anxiety. So you see the dilemma?
So I discovered that I had anxiety in college. Well, I must have known earlier. Okay, I discovered I had anxiety in college, but in high school, I was getting panic attacks. I just didn't understand that. I think when you're young, you're just like, I like knew anxiety, but I was just like, this is my personality. rather than thinking
I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I get asthma attacks when I'm really nervous. Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, not like other girls. So, like, I remember I would always get asthma attacks before like choir performances, and like that was panic attacks.
I'm sorry. You were in choir?
Oh yeah.
You like theater too?
Yes, and then in college I was an a cappella girl and musical theater gal.
God, I feel like we're literally twinsies. Literally. Oh my gosh.
Right? Because you were drama mage.
Yeah, I studied theater. I studied theater in college. I decided to study theater in college, honestly, for funsies.
Yeah.
I had no prior training or like formal training in middle and high school. So college, I was like, well, if I'm a full-time student, I have a flat tuition rate. So might as well just double major because it's still going to be the same rate. Yeah, so I did that, and I had no desire to pursue a career in theater. It was just, I feel like in college, you should just take fun classes and do what genuinely interests you. Yes. So that's what I did.
Okay, that's so crazy that we both have that, because like I didn't major in drama, but I was like this girl who was in a bunch of the drama class, because I would take drama classes for fun, and it was never like on a track to be a major because you needed to really seriously commit to be a drama major, and there was no minor.
So you have commitment issues. Gotcha.
So I do have commitment issues, but I remember there was like some course I was in, and the teacher was like, Shannon, you're not a drama major. And I was like, no, I'm a biology major. And she was like, why are you in this class?
Why the fuck are you here? Get the fuck out.
But anyway, oh yeah. So I discovered in college I had anxiety, specifically social anxiety, because I'd be in these social situations that I would get nervous in, and I would have a panic attack in the bathroom. And things don't go away, but I've done a lot of, I've like found my coping mechanisms. I was on medication for several years, did a lot of therapy. What I like to talk about,
we love therapy.
We love therapy when it's good, because I've had a lot of bad therapy too.
My cousin's a therapist, and she's like, yeah, sometimes finding a therapist isn't enough. You have to find the right therapist.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I mean, it's kind of like finding a lab, trying to find a lab with the right PI. I think I lucked out with the therapist, because my first therapist was really good, super understanding, and I always felt good coming out of it. But we can talk about that another time, maybe another episode.
Everyone's taking their ear. Is that a good frequency for everyone?
It's like clashing. It's clash. Wait, can we harmonize real quick?
I can't. I won't be able to.
Wait, how? You're in fucking choir. What do you mean? Okay, wait. You go first. No, I want to go first. And then you try to harmonize some my note. Okay.
Oh God, this is gonna be bad. Okay. I'm singing the same note as you.
This motherfucker said she was in choir. Where?
Listen, I never said I was good at choir.
Okay, that's fair. I
was having panic attacks. When I talk about my time with medication, I always talk about it like what I always tell my friends who are thinking about medication is what it helped for me. It was I had all this cloud over me at all times before medication. And then when I was on my medication, the cloud existed, but I could hold the cloud in my hand and I could look at the cloud. And the cloud wasn't all around me. And because I still had the cloud, like I still got nervous about things. Because I think sometimes like people think like so much is going to change. Like when I go on medication, it's like, no, like everything was still there. I just could hold it, and it didn't become everything to me. It was like something I could hold. I could talk about in therapy, and I didn't have to stay up all night thinking about every little thing. I could somehow disassociate myself from it in a way that I was never able to do my entire life.
Wait, if you don't mind me asking, what medication are you taking?
I was on, because I'm no longer on it, I was on Lexapro.
Oh, Lexapro. What am I taking? I honestly forgot the name. LOL.
I was on Lexapro is escalopram. And then I was on a benzo for panic attacks.
This is a full circle because this goes back to us not knowing what. If only we prepared for this specific question. But I know for sure that I'm taking an SSRI. I think that's what it's called.
Escitalopram is an SSRI. Lexapro is a SSRI. They all kind of work similarly if they're an SSRI.
This is SSRI stands for Selective Serotonin Reuptake Inhibitor.
I know about that because they did overlap with my studies a bit.
Right.
There was a point where I was giving mice an SSRI in their water bottles. So I would look. You're
like
mice.
Some for you, some for me.
Some for me. We are the
same. So can you actually go more into your research, your PhD research?
Sure. So what was my research? Can I even remember?
You're like, I actually didn't do any of it. Someone else did it for me.
And then I signed my name to it. So my research was in epigenetics and memory. It started out a project. As many people know, you join a lab, great. I'm going to plan out what my PhD is based on like what grants the lab has and like what study questions it does. So I had this question that was basically looking at early life adversity. So we had 3 different mice models of early life diversity. We had, if I can even remember, because I didn't end up using any of them. We had... It doesn't really matter what it was. It was like maternal separation, a bunch of different early life adversity types of situations. And then I was looking at epigenetic markers that would happen in the hippocampus after early life diversity.
I remember seeing a lot of your sections, your hippocampus sections on your Instagram story. They're so good.
Beautiful dentate gyruses. But anyway, what happened was, in order to get started on that project, I kind of had to do a baseline control just to make sure like this one treatment that I was doing wouldn't affect anything.
We love controls.
We love a control. So then I started that little baseline experiment and it did change things. Drop the bass, drop the mic. It changed how these mice memory function was working. So then my project became epigenetics and memory. Because I figured out the mouse model I was using kind of affected different regions of the hippocampus epigenetically. And then that resulted in differences in like memory. So I had to figure out why that was going on. So it kind of like had something and then was working backwards from it, which was really cool. I did not really want to study memory to begin with. I really wanted to study neuropsychiatric disorders and stress and early life adversity, but we follow the science.
How long was your PhD?
It was 5.5 years.
Okay, which is pretty average.
Yeah. I felt it was short for neuroscience, because neuroscience, when you're working with mice, really anything where you're working with mice. Yeah. And you're doing like, say, behavior, and you have to have your mice be a certain age, it just takes for freaking ever.
Yes. I did for my previous project, I did about roughly 20 mouse behavioral assays. And I think it took me about roughly a month of planning, because I don't know about your institution, but my institution, we have like a dedicated animal behavioral core. And each room had a different assay, and people had to reserve them ahead of time. But people would reserve these rooms months in advance. Yeah. And so I had to plan all my studies around the room reservations. And my whole mouse behavioral assay timeline ended up being about 1.5 years. And so, and our sample size was about 30 mice per genotype per gender. And so I would spend about 4 to 5 hours every day, 6 days a week, doing a different mouse behavioral assay with different cohorts. And that took up a lot of my time. And it just took definitely a lot of planning. With learning and memory, I'm assuming you did like Morris Water Maze or novel object recognition. What's another?
These are all the oldies and the goodies.
Conditioned fear.
We did some fear conditioning. We did some 8-arm radial maze. I don't know if you've heard that one.
No, I've never heard of that.
You know, it's like a little specialty that I learned in my last year.
Wait, can you talk more about that assay? I'm always interested in learning about mouse behavioral assays.
So an arm, people can use an 8-arm maze in like multiple ways. In the way we used it, if I'm remembering correctly, basically, you have 8 arms, and how we did it is they're in the little mouse in one arm.
8 arms. So Doc Ock. Gotcha. Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah. Think Octomom. And
I don't know why, but I thought of like octopus or squid porn, like octopus hentai.
Yes. And that's what I want everyone to be picturing while I describe this. And so there's little doors in front of the arms. And basically what you would do is you would train the mice to know that there is a treat at the end of the arm. We used a sprinkle, but because you want it to be really small so they can't see it until they get down there.
Like an ice cream sprinkle? Like an actual?
Yes.
Oh, so sugar.
Yeah, which I had one day, my sprinkles went missing. And so I had to go to the store, and all they had was rainbow sprinkles, but I had trained them on blue sprinkles. And so
okay, I was just going to ask you about like consistency. So did you have to like sort out the sprinkles?
There was one day I was sitting in the behavior room, and I was like, I have to get this behavior done by, like 5 o'clock. Cause you have to, whatever cycle you're, your lights are in, you can't go past a certain time. So it was like I felt like I was hazing myself. I had this like thing of rainbow sprinkles, and I like dumped it out on the floor, like the dirty ass floor of the behavior room. And I'm like trying to get all the blues and like checking the time. Like, okay, if I take 1 minute between mice and because I don't have the room tomorrow and I have to get this done.
If I was in your shoes, I would have like thrown the sprinkles on the floor, and I would be like panicking, and my anxiety would like kick in. I'd be crying. And then just like imagine someone walking in like, what are you doing on the floor? I need to find blue sprinkles.
It's science. People don't realize that is science. Science is running to the nearest store, finding what you can, and figuring it out. But with 8-arm maze, what were we saying? So they're trained to know that like to go down an arm, and then you would basically let them go down an arm, and then they would return to their home arm, and then you would open up another arm, and they can be really close together. And so the mouse is supposed to know, I already went to that one arm, I need to go to the new arm. So if the arms are really close together, it's kind of difficult. Then if the arms are really far away, if they're like 90 degrees separated, they know like, okay, I went right last time, I'm going to go left, and then I'll get the sprinkle, right? It tests something called pattern separation, which is just the idea that like you can tell small differences in space. So like a mouse that's really good at pattern separating would probably be able to tell between like 2 radial arm maze doors that are really close to each other, and they would be able to figure out like, oh, I already went to that one. I gotta go to this one. It's like short-term memory kind of thing too. So
that's so interesting. I'm gonna look more into that after this. What other assays did y'all do?
Oh, what else did we do? We did some like control assays. So I think we did pre-pulse inhibition.
Oh, wait, is yours automated?
Ours was automated, yes.
And
wait,
then,
what is a non-automated pre-pulse inhibition test?
My PI told me that like they had. Oh, how did she do it? She said like back in the days we had.
You had to like set it, like you had to like change the.
I don't even know. You have to like that's like manually press something. Yeah.
I mean, I was working off a computer that had floppy disks for this behavior. Yeah. Okay, a thing that people might not know is that behavior equipment is really expensive. And also, if you're like continuing on a project for like many, many years, you're always comparing it to, right? Like we had all this data on this system for so long. It's really hard to start a new system because you're like, well, everything is, any little thing can throw things off. Like, you know where the light is, the light, the light percentage, everything, because you want your mice to be as chill and controlled as possible.
Yeah, for us, my controls was like the light had to be 150 lux, and then the sound has to be, I think, 80 decibels. I think it has to be like specifically 85 decibels. White noise, and then you have to let them acclimate to the room for 30 minutes.
Yes, because they were moving down on a cart from an animal room.
Yep.
And the fucking elevator, so then you had to get them to the room. You had to let them chill for a while.
And then I wanted to make sure that everything was controlled as possible. So
Yeah.
I also separated the males from the females because I was afraid that the hormones or the pheromones of the females might affect, or like the genders might affect each other.
Of course, yeah.
So I had one day I had to do, and we have to do it at the same time every day, you know. And I made sure to like not wear deodorant, cologne, and then in order to go into the mouse behavioral room, you had to wear a gown. Yeah. And they had different color gowns, like blue and yellow. And I always made sure to wear yellow gowns. And so you have to make sure that everything is the same.
That's the thing with behavior. And that's what I really loved about behavior. I loved like how controlled and how like, I mean, I also love bench work as well, but behavior was really fun. And I also found it very meditative. Like I loved like being in the dark behavior room for 12 hours. I talk about it like it was hell because it was, but there was something about like if I had Morris water maze that week, right? Which is like 5 days of training with like all these mice and putting them in a murky pool and like scooping out mouse poop, like straining mouse poop.
Yeah.
And getting like water all over my clothes. That was straining. Okay, I would strain the pool we had like this pencil holder because it was like a metal strainer.
Oh no.
And I would go with it and
strain the ghetto. Oh no.
Strain the giant pool and like my hand, you know, I had gloves on, but it was just like it was just like things you do.
Our institution was fancy where we had like a little suction hose.
That's fun.
And so like we would just suction all the water out and then tilt the pool so that all the poop would be in like one little area and you just suck it up. Yeah. Why'd I do that? Oh my God, no.
Suck it up from a giant straw. I mean, the one thing that was nice was that we had our own behavior room. So it was all our lab stuff. But the downside was, you know, sometimes you were scraping things up with it.
Yeah. This is such a full circle because I actually started listening to The Science of Self-Care when I was doing behavior. Specifically, I was doing 3-chamber. Did y'all do that at all?
3-chamber. Remind me what 3-chamber is. Oh, like preference 3-chamber?
I think it's called social preference 3-chamber.
Yeah. Papers. I did do that, yeah. Where the mouse is in the little like cage, like little stripper cage.
Yes. So for those that are listening and don't know this assay, it's an assay that tests for social preference. There's this apparatus and it's separated into 3 different chambers, the left, middle, and the right. And in the left and right chambers, there are these stripper cages. With us, we use pencil holders that were mesh.
Yeah.
And they're placed upside down. In one chamber, there's inanimate object. We use a Lego piece. And then the opposite chamber, there is a novel mouse placed inside. And so you'll place the subject mouse into the center chamber. And there are like these little doors where you can enter either to the left or the right chambers. And in healthy mice, they'll want to spend more time interacting with the novel mouse than the inanimate object. And it tests for social interaction. Ours was old school, so I had to sit in front of the apparatus with a keyboard. Yeah, with the keyboard. And if the mouse is sniffing the pencil holder in the left chamber, I had to press Q. And then if it's sniffing the right pencil holder, I had to press R or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Each mouse, I had to do it for like 20 minutes for each mouse. It's very old school and I had to do it manually. I did not like it. But you're just sitting there for 20 minutes for one mouse and you're just staring at it. I'll listen to your podcast, The Science of Self-Care, Inside the Closet with Mateo Lane and Emma Willman. They are so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Have you ever met them?
I haven't met them, but I did sit on a plane next to Mateo Lane
Wait, you sat next to him?
Yeah, and I did not say, hey, I know who you are because I thought it would be weird, but it definitely was him. It was during the pandemic, so I wasn't sure. We were both in masks. But then I looked at Instagram and Mateo was in the place that I was like they were doing a show. So I was like, okay, that definitely was Mateo. You know,
pretend like you don't know him the entire plane ride. And then after like you get out of the terminal, that's when I would have been like, hey, can I get a picture?
No, I couldn't. I'm too awkward for that.
I'm saying all these things. I probably would have done the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I saw Mateo Lane couple weeks ago, he came to Houston. He is so funny.
Yeah.
What always impresses me with comedians is that if there's ever a heckler or someone in the audience that says something, it always impresses me when a comedian can like quickly say something or like combat that and then say something even funnier.
Right. That's great. When they can do crowd work. I'm not one with crowd work. I feel like when I'm hosting, because I do a lot of hosting of live shows and I try to interact with the audience, I always feel like I go like a step too far and the audience is then, because it's a careful thing because you can get the audience no longer on your side.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I've seen a couple clips on TikTok where the comedian thinks that the audience is on their side and they'll go too far and then the audience will start booing the comedian.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ew, I'm getting secondhand embarrassment.
I know, but it's part of comedy is just freaking bombing on stage. But always it's just like, I'm not making fun of them. It's like, I make fun of myself too far. And they're like, no.
So was it ever difficult balancing out lab work with comedy?
Yeah, that's a great question. Such a good interviewer.
Girl, I learned from you.
Was it hard? Yeah, I mean, as I started getting more serious about comedy, I was understanding that I didn't want to stay at the bench or like go into academia. So I very much made it a point that I was going to be spending time doing science communication, whether that be like doing my show, Your Brain on Blank, that I hosted. I just felt like that was career development. So it was, people spend time outside of their PhD, like teaching classes or doing other things to help develop what their next steps are. And that's what I really tried to think in my mind. Like, this is part of my career development. That means I have to go leave lab by 7 because I have a show at 8 or, something like that. Sometimes I would figure it out that I would not be in lab on a Tuesday and Wednesday, but I would be in lab on a Saturday and Sunday. Luckily, I had a PI who was very easy with that. He was like, if I was getting my work done, he really did not care when I was there.
I love hearing that. Every time I hear stories of supportive PIs, it just makes my heart melt because those are the people that like you need in your life. And I'm sure that you have like a good long-term relationship with them. No, like you are literally in a relationship with them.
Yes, I am. Well, this is the thing. It wasn't only that. I also had an extremely supportive lab group. So they were so supportive of my career and my comedy that like, they would come to my shows. And also, if it was a thing, like I was coming in late for something, could someone like bring my mice to the behavior room to get them acclimated? People would. They were just like, it was such a supportive lab. It still is. I see them all the time. I didn't know it was so rare until like I heard other people's horror stories.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite where I was like in a very terrible lab. Y'all can hear in episode 1. And I didn't know that labs could be so healthy after a lot of people started reaching out and said like, oh, my lab is the opposite where, and I'm like, oh, I'm jelly. But hey, like, I think definitely you have to go through the bad things in life to enjoy the good things in life. And so I always like to say that trauma helps build character. And so, girl, I am a character because of that. So
yes, I love that. It is hard because if you say start a PhD or if you're just in a lab environment, like you don't know what your life is going to look like if you stay there long term. So if you start a PhD, you don't know in 3 years what your commitments are going to be. Obviously, you're making a commitment to get a PhD, but like know that like I don't think you owe anyone anything. Like it's your career. It's your career, so do what's right for you. You did make an agreement to start a PhD, but like it doesn't have to be crazy.
Yeah. I saw a really good video on TikTok the other day. And I might post it on my Instagram story.
Yeah.
But in this video, this said, a few weeks ago at an audition, the choreographer said, you have something to share, not something to prove. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That was balls
that.
deep, balls to the walls. I literally creamed. I literally creamed just reading that. But that's so true, though. In a PhD, I got nothing to prove. If anything, I'm going to prove how dumb I am, how stupid I am, how much preparation I need to ace this presentation.
Right. It's also training. So much of PhD, it's so hard because you go in and you're like expected to be or there's a thought that you're expected to be an expert right off the bat because you're like in a PhD program, but it's a training program. It's like you're not supposed to be an expert. You're not supposed to be perfect at experiments. You're not supposed to be perfect at making presentations. Like the whole point is your training.
What I learned throughout time is it shows you how to persevere and get back up.
Yes.
You know that one Vine, it goes, you better hop on the horse, hop on the horse, hop on that horse. Hop on that horse, you gotta hop on that. That's literally what it's not even supposed to be an inspirational video, but that's what's always playing in the back of my mind.
Yes, inspirational quotes.
What y'all don't know about me, well, I'm sure y'all know about this about me. Up in this head, it's just constantly Vine and TikTok sounds. Literally.
Okay, let's go. What's your favorite Vine? Favorite Vine of all time?
My favorite Vine? What the fuck is that, Kyle? What the fuck is that?
That's a good one. I love Vine. I love it. I love TikTok, but don't listen to TikTok, but I love
Vine is very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
And that makes it sound old because Vine came out. I think Vine was very popular in high school and college for me.
Vine was popular when I lived in the city.
What's your favorite?
I'm in me mom's car.
Oh.
Get out me car.
That was like on point. You like literally just played the actual audio.
And then I love the remix of it. That boom slap, I'm in me mom's car.
Yes.
Get out me car.
Yes.
That plays in my mind all the time.
Oh, there's another video. It goes, there's like a mom cooking. And then whoever's recording, they're like, slap cam. And then she turns around while she's like cutting her chicken. She's like, she said something like, I hope you better the fuck not. And then they turned that into, okay, I'm literally butchering this. Future Darian, when you're editing this audio, please cut that out. And then, or Future Darian, if you decide to keep that audio in, please include the video.
Bitch, I hope the fuck you do. You'll be a dead son of a bitch, I tell you that.
Note to self. Thank you, Future Darian.
Thank you, Future Darian.
Yay, Future Darian. We love you.
Future Darian, we love you.
So I guess right now, what's next for you in the next, I don't know, like next month? What's next for you?
Yeah. I am working on a new video series. So, I don't know when that's going to get released, but if you follow me on Instagram, it's going to be about neuroscience. So check it out. I'm doing a lot of writing, which has been really great.
We love writing.
I love writing. I'm in a pilot class. I'm like doing some creative writing.
No, like she's like literally flying a plane.
I'm flying a plane. And it's creative. And I do creative things when I'm up there. I do what is that? Like the gas? No, the writing in the sky with the that's pilot writing.
You're writing a script for your next sketch. You're like telling jokes in the sky.
Yeah, so look to the skies if you want to see what I'm up to.
Look up in the sky if you want to laugh.
And then, hosting my podcast, Science of Self-Care. We're about to have our season finale. And then I'm also part of another podcast. If you're listening and you like TTRPGs, tabletop role-playing games, I'm part of a really fun podcast. Do you know, like Dungeons and Dragons?
Okay. I've literally never heard of that acronym.
Yes.
Honestly, if you made up an acronym, I would have been like...
I think
I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah.
Right? But we don't play Dungeons and Dragons. We play this thing called Shadowrun, but it's a similar type of system. So it's a lot of improv, world building. I play a really fun character who's like an ogre who's a jock. Really fun.
So Shannon, where can my followers find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at SHODELL, or you can find me on TikTok at Shannon.phd, or you can find me. My address is
All right, Future Darian, please dub over that and actually say her address. Thank you. How shady of me would it be like if I just did not edit anything out?
Yeah, you absolutely doxed me.
All right, Shannon, thank you so much. This was so fun, and I really want to bring you back.
Fun. I would love to come back.
Yes.
I will be back, whether you like it or not.
Yes. Come on, Libra twinsy. Wait, random question. Are you very indecisive?
Me?
Mm-hmm. I'm super indecisive about everything.
Okay, me just going, am I indecisive? Huh. I think that pretty much
says everything. All right. I think that's a good ending note. All right. Bye, guys. I love you. I love you, Shannon. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.